Alright, so what we're going to do now is we've already done 135 for 25 reps. This gets us warmed up. We did 225 for 15 reps. Still kind of a warm-up set, but technically your first set. Now we're going to do 405 for probably 8. And that'll be, of course, our next set. And then we'll get 500 for somewhere around 4 to 5 reps. So what we did is we progressively went up, and then we're going to progressively go back down. Right after each set of deadlifts, then we go right to a leg routine, which would either be squats or hack squats. In this case today, we'll do both. We'll do deadlift, a squat, and then a hack squat. Probably not quite as much weight on the hack squat as we would if we were only doing one leg routine. But the idea is to get a full range of motion, because on squats, technically I don't go down all the way to my heels like a lot of guys can. Puts too much pressure on my knees, but I can do it on the hack squat, so I try to make up for it either way. That's how you compensate yourself in your training sessions. Okay, you don't want to, I cut it off. I cut stuff off. Alright. Okay. I suggest you use wrist wraps when you get on deadlifts. The reason for that is 9 times out of 10, most people's grip is not going to stand pull. You'll be so concentrated on trying to hold on to the bar that you won't be able to get the right reps. So, use your wrist wraps. I'm going to use a bodybuilding stance and not a power stance. Notice my knees are in between my arms, not on the outside like power lifters. It makes for a little longer and harder pull. But it's just a style you use what works for you. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so there's 10. Go up one more time to complete the total rounds. Alright, once you get to your maximum or to your heavier weights, you definitely got to use a belt. You got to cinch that thing in tight. That lower back will be very, very tired after this much pulling between deadlifts and squats. So really lean back and tighten that dude in there. And of course, you have your trusty bodybuilding towel ready. So what we're going to do now is right after deadlifts, we came to the squat rack and put some more legs on here. So if you're ready, let's roll. Of those, we want really no less than about 45 seconds to a minute between sets. So you have deadlift, a squat, and then a hack squat. And you start the cycle over again for 7 to 8 rounds. Okay. So what we're going to do now, the thing about hack squats is, keep my feet very close on this exercise so my knees don't travel over the end of my toes. There's a lot of stress on the knees here because you want to go all the way to the bottom. No half or quarter reps here. That's safe for the squat rack depending on your knee situation. Here, Weight is all relative, so use enough weight as you go to the bottom. Every single rep, bottom out, you just touch and go and go. If you're going to take a rest, do it at the top, and don't lock the knees out. Leave the knees slightly bent. That keeps the stress on the muscles the whole time. That way, technically, they're not really ever getting a full rest. Your lungs are, but your legs won't. So let's go ahead and get these done. We're going to start another cycle all over at the top of our set. So here we go. Knees close together, out of the rack. Toes slightly over the top of the plate, the bottom plate. Here we are. Alright, very good. Now we'll start all over again. Alright, this time around, we got 500 on the bar. These two exercises intimidate a lot of people, including me. Squats, deadlifts, only because of the amount of weight and the possibilities of an injury. That's why you find a lot of folks who do this stuff. It's because they're concerned about an injury. The time you have to really be concerned about injuries is if you don't have proper form. And of course, it takes a little bit of time to get the right form and the feel of it. Once you get confident in that, then your weight's going to go up. Put a lot of stress on your body. This is what causes growth. If you're doing the same thing all the time, the same weights, basically the same routine, day in and day out, your body's going to peak off, you're going to plateau. You won't see any changes in your training or your body. Maybe you become stale. You're going to eventually get tired of working out. So these are the things that you have to challenge yourself to move on. So that's what we're going to do now. This is the way we roll. That's all I got today. Okay, one thing I want to mention, when you just saw that last set of deadlifts, we just got to talking about it. And in my mind, I wanted 5 reps. My body gave me 3. On the 4th one, as I was coming out of the bottom, about 6 inches from the floor, I knew in order for me to be able to get that rep up, that I needed to release air and take in some more oxygen. In other words, for that second wind, I had to. And if you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to, when you let that air out, you're going to relax your back, and the air leaves your body, which sets you up for an injury. You got to stay tight the whole time. So that's when you got to listen to yourself and say, get that second wind. If you feel it, you're really struggling, and you can't without that second wind of air, drop it and let go. One ego rep is not going to make a difference. It's not worth weeks of injury and time out of the gym just to prove you can get one more. You can get that next week. Technically, you shouldn't be doing this type of training, but every other week when it comes to maximum weights for your body. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get another set of squats, another set of hack squats, and then we're going to start dropping our weight. We won't take time to film all that, because you already know what it's about. But what I wanted to show you was when we get to these heavier weights, talk to you a little bit about form, and a little bit about why you do what you do when you do these certain exercises to protect yourself from injury and to be able to gain confidence to do these things. Squats, deadlifts, and bench press are always going to be the basic movements for the rest of your life in the gym. These movements will help you push you forward in everything else you do here. So let's go ahead and get another set of squats in. And we'll be on our way down from the all right, here we go. Okay, listening to your body. Get the maximum set of reps as you can. And making a little bit of progress every month. That's what it's all about. I hope you enjoyed this and it helps you in your routines.